Hey everyone, this is Fatty Catty, and we're going to be talking about something that's a little bit more random than usual, which is another knife video. So, this time we're going to be talking about video capture device on. This is a Skelton Blade Works. Oops, don't want to push it out of frame there. I'm using my mic arm as a tripod, so it's a little bit janky, not gonna lie. So this is a Skelton Blade Works Kwaiken, and we're going to be talking about it, and we're going to be examining the materials and workmanship that he has put into it. So for starters, the blade is S35 VN, which is a good blade steel. It's not the best, but is by no means the worst. Carbon fiber handles. The carbon fiber is actually very attractive. I'm not gonna, take that away. I am a huge fan of carbon fiber. I think it's beautiful. This carbon fiber, I don't know what type it is exactly, but it does have some very pretty patterns in it. So, as for the blade here, you have, I believe it's like 4 inches. It's a little over 4 inches. But for sharpen length, he doesn't really sharpen it that far, because he leaves like this much of unsharpened blade, like a lot of unsharpened blade, like at least this much, maybe a little bit more in there that's completely unsharpened. And he didn't go with just like a sharpening choil, which would have worked fine. And it's just a little iffy. And also, the grinds here, it looks like this one plunges down a bit further than this one, which is it's bad. That's very bad when you have a grind line that goes down further. Like I don't think it's just me and my imagination that this one is deeper than this one. Also, there's issues with the grind because while he was grinding, I'm pretty sure that the belt touched. So you have, issue upon issue when you're dealing with the fit and finish. And then let's take the some light here and let's examine a little bit deeper. So if you look back here, you'll see that there is. Ooh, don't want to shine it in the camera. Come on, work here, work with me, buddy. Okay, so, come on. There we go. You'll see that there are large gaps in the back, like really big gaps. And then if I go further to the front, basically I just have to catch it at the right angle, and you can see. Okay, I'll I'll demonstrate a little bit different. It's a little bit easier. Take the piece of paper. Let's you got tinder pockets here. I don't think that's how it's supposed to work personally. Although this could be just an added feature where if you're out in the woods, you can just take some tinder and shove it back there. But I don't think that was the intention when making this knife. And it's not like there's small gaps. These are pretty big gaps. Like, I can comfortably fit a piece of paper in there. Just, easy. And in the front, there's also, if I go at it, I believe the front scales are on better, but I could have sworn that I was able to, get it in. Oh, yeah. There's issues on the front scale too. So you've a lot of problems right there. That's not a fixable issue for starters, because there's too much material that's come off of here, and if you want to keep the dimensions here, you can't, because you have to grind this piece of carbon fiber down further, and you have to do on both sides, otherwise it'll be uneven. So you're losing material there, and it's not a good thing in my opinion. You're also going to have to redo the screws and a bunch of other issues. On top of that, the screws here are not they're not the same. Like, they don't match. Like, there's holes in here. I don't know if you can see it very well. I'll try to get the camera to focus better on there. Come on. They're not all the same. Like, they're divots, but they're not equally formed divots, and that's a bad thing, So after looking at this, you're probably thinking, well, those are some issues there. And I'd say, yeah, those are quite a few issues. So you'd probably be thinking, well, you're not going to demand a super premium price tag there now, is he? Where is it? $475 for this. Now, this is hand ground in the USA, so there is that. But then if we look over at Blade HQ here, look at this, Bark River, hand ground in the USA, $264.95. And I'm betting, now I don't have one here to compare, but I'm betting there aren't large gaps in it. And if there are, I'd still send it back to them. On top, so this is micarta. Micarta is still not cheap. So I don't think that the difference between the micarta and the carbon fiber are causing that large gap in price. I don't think that's it. But it could be that the micarta is, $250, less than the carbon fiber here. And that could be causing it. I'm not 100% sure. Things like that do happen where, essentially, fancy plastic, carbon fiber is not fancy plastic, I'm aware. You don't need to tell me. Costs, a lot more than linen that's been resin treated and all that. I'm being facetious there. I know that this is just kind of overpriced, like way overpriced. $475 for a fixed blade is fine. Like, people will pay that for S35 and carbon fiber. But what you pay for then, if you're paying that much money, is you're paying for workmanship and skill. And quite frankly, there are a lot of issues with this blade. And this is a recent showing of his work. This is 5, 15, 18. So this is this year, and it's not that long ago, like 4 months. And he's been doing this for a couple of years. He's been making knives. So unless he either A, improved massively in the past 4 months, 3 months of time that he's had available to him, I just don't see that him he was fine putting this out at Blade Show, and then he was fine selling this to one of his patrons. So he thought that this was a good representation of what was coming out of his table, I would hope, or his shop. Otherwise, he's just, trying to pawn his junk off on his patrons, which that's bad, giving things that you think are subpar to people who you hope won't complain about it. That's really bad. And I don't think that's the case. I just think that he's, overcharging a bit. Might as well assume incompetence instead of malice, because, I just don't feel like assuming malice, because that's a bad thing. On top of that, it doesn't even come with a sheath at $475. So yeah, this is like a fractal, where the deeper you look, the more issues there are, and just keep spinning and spinning and spinning until $475 just flies out of your pocket. And like I said, I just hit my mic there, and my mic is attached to the camera. So yeah, anyone who is thinking about buying one of these, I would say do not buy a Skelton Blade Works knife unless you are on site and you can see it. If he does improve, then, feel free to pay what you think it's worth. If you think that these issues, which probably you aren't going to find on a $200 knife, if you're okay with dealing with those issues in a $500 knife, that's all up to you. I mean, people place different values on things. I don't. So I hope everyone has a great day, makes wise purchasing decisions. And yeah, that's the end of the video.